money flow. We'll keep the shiny side up wherever we go. Set your own schedule, master of the road. Hauling freedom's cargo, lightening up your load. Tips and tricks for truckers, yeah, we're helping you. From dawn till dusk, we'll see it through. Staying driven hard in it every mile. Hunting gears and wearing a smile. From hustling sexy truckers, yeah, we're helping you. From dawn till dusk, we'll see it through. Staying driven hard in every mile. Hunting gears and wearing a smile. From hustling city streets to the country lane. Driven trucking, we ease the strain. Brother, sister, keep your eyes on that line. From sunrise to moonshine. Owner operators, this show's for you. Tune in, get tips, and roll on through. From diesel fumes to mountain views, we'll guide your way. Hauling grit and glory every single day. On the rubber, feel the freedom in every bend. Driven trucking, your best highway friends. Staying driven hard in it every mile. Hunting gears and wearing a smile. From hustling sexy truckers, yeah, we're helping you. From dawn till dusk, we'll see it through. Staying driven hard in every mile. Hunting gears and wearing a smile. From hustling city streets to the country lane. Driven trucking, we ease the strain. Ease the strain. Stay driven.
Good morning. It's been a while. Been a while since I've been live. It's been a little over a month, and I miss it. I miss going live, actually. I prefer to do it this way, but for the sake of the content, for the sake of the channel, unfortunately, I got to do it the other way. Hopefully, we start growing soon. Numbers have not gone in the right direction yet. The channel was fairly large, and it's going to take some time to break through that algorithm, unfortunately. So I thought we would already kind of be there. It would slowly be growing. But we're not there yet. That's okay, because I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue pressing on. Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning. Good morning, Sevenfold. He says, Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He's spreading the word. Randy says, amen to that. And Aunt Cool, good morning. So good morning, everybody. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's Friday. I know this is, of all the things, I think this is the least watched day. But I don't know. Do y'all have an issue with time? I have the worst issue with time in the world. I will set out to do something, and I will do 30 other things before I actually get to what it was that I started doing. And I don't know. It's just hard for me to focus. But like, I'm not a big believer in medication. So I, I clearly need it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if I want to go there. Anyway, I don't know if you guys struggle with that too, but I struggle. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Christopher. I remember you, sir. Good morning. I've been doing well, man. How are you? That's awesome. Oh, whoa. Crypto analysts. Okay, crypto analysts, you've got 1 minute to type into the chat. Driven trucking, actually. Otherwise, I will block you from the channel. And the reason being is because there are a lot of spam bots, and I don't play that. So he says that he's rich, already Bitcoin 75K. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's likely to go up. Maybe. We don't know, but there's certainly a good possibility. We'll say that. But yeah, so we're going to give people just a few minutes to trickle in. anybody's got anything to say, drop it in the chat now. I'll be reading it until I start doing the actual update. Oh, I guess I should have said this earlier. I forget. See, it's been over a month. I forgot. I'm just happy that I actually turned my microphone on. I didn't forget that. But if you're catching this on the replay, click in the timestamp down below. It'll take you forward to when the actual it'll take you forward to the weather update or when the actual trucking market update starts. We're gonna get into the dad joke here real soon. Chris says, "I've been great going for my LCB next week and getting my SH6." Man, I honestly I don't know what that means. Going for my LCB. Well, I feel like I should know what that means. SH6 isn't that a rating for oversize, or is that something completely different? I don't know. Let's get to the dad joke here real quick. Which state has the most streets? Rhode Island. Oh boy. All right. All right. So since crypto analyst didn't say anything, let me block this guy real quick. Hide user on this channel. Congratulations, sir. You've been blocked. We don't talk that type of finances on this channel. We just don't. And I don't like the spam bots. I think you guys are trash. You're trash. If you're watching this, you're trash. Like, you don't get any worse than being a POS scum than scamming other people. So as far as I'm concerned, like, you're one of the worst people on the planet. So get the hell off of my channel. That being said, sorry. That really struck a nerve with me. Anyway, let's be positive. Chris says, yeah. LCV is a cert. We get to be able to pull a Jeep or a Stinger. Oh, nice. Hope to see the rates climb soon, says Randy. Chris, are you with Landstar or did you go somewhere else? Because I don't know about like, I know there's a whole nother side to overdimensional that I wasn't really aware of. I knew about climbing up through the ranks, and I was slowly doing that. SH6, I believe that's pretty well up there, so that's awesome, man. If you're in a prime position to really like make some serious money, especially with the turn of the economy at the moment. I'm still with Lancer. Okay, cool. So yeah, you're way up there, man. You've climbed through the ranks. That's awesome. Rainy says, hope to see the rates climb soon. My bet is into first quarter, beginning of second. Yeah, I put out a video talking about this yesterday. It came out kind of late. um, I think so as well. I think we're going to see some kind of change by summer, but I do think that it's going to take a little bit more time before we like really see a change. My guess is probably like really start to see it quarter three, and into quarter four. But I do feel like we're going to see some kind of change come summer. The nice thing is, like, really, Biden didn't get rid of most, if not all, of the tariffs. So it's not like these companies, especially since Trump did that the first time, like a lot of I mean, really everybody is aware of kind of what his tactics are. So I feel like they prepared. And I mean, with the absolute train wreck of a campaign that Kamala put on, like, it was such a joke. I don't think anybody actually thought that she would win. And not any like, literally nobody. So I feel like these companies are probably very well prepared for what's about to happen. And I think that we'll see the change happen a little bit quicker than what we normally would. But I mean, that's my guess. I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but yeah, I do think that we'll feel some change start. I think quicker than what we normally would with another president. So highest is SH7. Dude, that's awesome, man. You're almost like way up there. Like, that's really cool. I bet you're pulling some cool stuff. Man, if you had a vlogging YouTube channel, it would do really well. Speaking of that, he's probably not in here. I'm not going to say anything. He's probably not in here. All right, well, let's get into it. I love catching up. I love chatting with you guys, but viewership kind of drops off. So I need to get started with what I came to do. All right, so starting off with the weather. So that blue that you see over there, that's in New Mexico and Colorado. Apparently, that has dumped like record snow for New Mexico, or if it's not record, it's like some crazy, crazy amount of snow. So yeah, so be really careful. It's still going today. It's still over there. It's still dumping snow. So I mean, likely like things are shut down. It looks like it's going to kind of clear out of New Mexico anyway, but it's still going to hang out in Colorado all day tomorrow, and even all day tomorrow, all day today, and through tomorrow. Um, got some rain, heavy rain covering, excuse me, covering Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas there, and then it looks like it's moving north. No, it's growing a little bit, so it's going to kind of spread. If you're anywhere in that area, even the surrounding states just to the east of that, be be mindful of that. It's really foggy over there in the dirty south, Georgia, the Carolinas. It clears up though. It's not like rain. There is some rain over there, but it's not bad. And then, is there anything moving in? Yeah, another storm moving in from the northwest, but doesn't really look like it's going to hit today. Looks like more like tomorrow. Yeah, a little bit later tomorrow. What's today? Friday? Yeah, later tomorrow and in through the weekend. So through the weekend, you're going to have a storm up there in the northwest. Be careful if you're going up that way. If you're in the Midwest, anywhere from Texas all the way up through the Dakotas, all the way over to Michigan, it's going to be heavy rain. So keep an eye on that radar. And yeah, that looks like what we got. So let's get in the actual trucking market update. So I'm going to start with the states on a statewide level. Um, what this does is this gives us a barometer for what's going on around the entire country. This is not the end all be all, though. In a few minutes, we're going to go dive into the actually where this freight is located on a market level. An example of this would be like California. They've got a ton of excess freight, but that excess freight is not everywhere. So you're not going to have negotiating power all over California. You actually have to look and see where that freight is located, and we will get into that in a few minutes. But this is a great place to start. It gives us an idea of exactly what's going on, and then you can look at the states around it to see if like some of that negotiating power is going to get eaten up or not. So starting off with Alabama, 634 loads in, 250 out. That's down. Arkansas, 343 loads in to 231 loads out. Now that's way down. Arkansas had been hanging on strong, and then just I don't know, absolutely dropped the ball today. Not sure why, but that's way, way down for production for Arkansas. Arizona, 456 loads in, 851 loads out. Am I reading that right? Wow. Okay, that's interesting. You got some negotiating power in Arizona. That's fascinating. But like at the same time, this feels like an anomaly, even though it's been, right at that 50-50 level. This is certainly an anomaly today. And on top of that, I do feel like there are a lot of trucks that get stuck in Arizona. You get, there's a lot of reefers over there right now, especially, and loads cancel, etc. So even though it's way up, I don't feel like you're going to have a ton of negotiating power in Arizona. Now that being said, certainly try all the tactics, and it's going to be more likely to work, on a day like today than it would normally. At the same time, I don't trust that whatsoever. California, wow, 1,568 loads in, 4,933 loads out. That's the largest number I've seen so far. That's huge. Lots of negotiating power in California. Use it. Talk to these brokers nicely, and they may increase your pay. Colorado, 854 loads in, 531 loads out. I'm actually surprised at those numbers. Those are high numbers, and considering the storm that's there, that's a bit of a shock. Connecticut, 100 loads in, 47 loads out. DC has 2 loads. Delaware, 59 loads in, 27 loads out. Florida, 1,502 loads in, 456 loads out. Yikes. Georgia, 1,714 loads in, 757 loads out. Yikes. Iowa, 336 loads in, 458 loads out. So okay shape for Iowa. Not great. We've seen it better. At the same time, you do have some negotiating power there in Iowa. Idaho, 138 loads in, 385 loads out. Really nice start for the Northwest. Illinois, 1,025 loads in, 1,358 loads out. Womp womp. That's not great. Yeah, I think that is actually up from yesterday, but at the same time, Illinois is normally in the 1500s, 1600s, so a little weak for Illinois, unfortunately. Um, Indiana, 620 loads in, 738 loads out. Also a little weak for Indiana. Kansas, 319 loads in, 191 loads out. That's way down as well. I mean, it is Friday, guys. Louisiana, 355 loads in, 278 loads out. That's down. Massachusetts, 195 loads in, 149 loads out. Maryland, 246 loads in, 176 loads out. That's down even from Maryland. Maine, 44 loads in, 74 loads out. Michigan, 444 loads in, 502 loads out. That's still above that 50-50 line there, but that's the worst we've seen Michigan so far. Minnesota, 292 loads in, 468 loads out. Not great. That's a big loss in production as well. Although still in good shape, still have negotiating power. Missouri, 660 loads out. It's not working today. 660 loads in, 446 loads out. That's down. Mississippi, 254 loads in, 230 loads out. Montana, 68 loads in, 152 loads out. That's a lot of freight from Montana. North Carolina, 1,152 loads in, 414 loads out. Wow, that's way down, even for North Carolina. North Dakota, 62 loads in, 144 loads out. Finally, outside of California, this is the best we've seen so far. Those are normal numbers. Despite their normalcy, that's good. You have negotiating power in North Dakota. Nebraska, 197 loads in, 164 loads out. That's down even for Nebraska. New Hampshire, 45 loads in, 31 loads out. Jersey, 513 loads in, 648 loads out. So that's down for New Jersey. Although above the 50-50 line, we'll see what Pennsylvania is doing to see how that affects it. New Mexico, 193 loads in, 107 loads out. Nevada, 252 loads in, 642 loads out. Wow. West Coast is killing it. Fantastic shape for Nevada. That's way up. That's up. That's up even for Nevada considerably. So lots of negotiating power in Nevada. Use it. Get all the money. You can certainly get all the money right now. New York, 435 loads in, 558 loads out. That's way down. Ohio, wow. Ohio is actually this. I think this is the first time Ohio is below the 50-50 line. That's rough. 1,029 loads in, 974 loads out. Yeesh. Now we are a little bit later than normal, I guess. Normal for the channel. Like maybe this is affecting it, but I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of freight missing, not there. Anyway, moving on. Oklahoma, 415 loads in, 211 loads out. Oregon, 167 loads in, 539 loads out. Northwest is in excellent shape. PA, 1,336 loads in, 718 loads out. That's that's like 50% production. 50%. That's awful. Rhode Island, 22 loads in, 18 loads out. Oh, by the way, yeah, zero negotiating power over from Ohio east. South Carolina, 628 loads in, 329 loads out. South Dakota, 97 loads in, 58 loads out. Tennessee, 975 loads in, 452 loads out. This is like bad news bears. Texas, 3,598 loads in, 2,381 loads out. That's Texas. Utah, 319 loads in, 561 loads out. Northwest, in excellent shape. This is why I always ran the Northwest. I always ran really, the sun's going to come in and mess up the video. All right, that's nice. Well, I mean, I guess at least the sun's out. I was right here. Utah, Virginia, 566 loads in, 374 loads out. Vermont, 26 loads in, 36 loads out. Washington, 328 loads in, 726 loads out. Wow, way up for the entire Northwest. You've got some serious negotiating power. Or really, the West. Just everywhere over there. The entirety. Just lots of negotiating power over there. They have to pay the money. They have to. And if they won't pay the money, find a different load because these numbers are crazy right now. Washington, we just hit Wisconsin, 416 loads in, 769 loads out. So you still have a lot of negotiating power there. It's still in really good shape, but that's the production's way down. I don't like to see this. This is really rough all the way across the board outside of the West. And then we've got West Virginia, 76 loads in, 110 loads out, and Wyoming, 69 loads in, 182 loads out. Even Wyoming has extra freight. That's nuts. That's nuts. Let's see what's going on. I'm not going to go into the trend lines. You're welcome to pause the video and look at that. I go into these on Monday. You can have a look on Monday, but I will post them up there if you want to pause it. Let's see here. Adventures of a Lifetime. Trump. Yes, Trump won. He did it. Man, I I I didn't doubt, but like at the same time, I was still a little nervous. So I guess there was doubt there. Mountain fog in West Virginia. Yeah, I bet. Arkansas on 30 looks like rain coming. Yeah. Yeah, later on, if it's not already there, it's later on in the day. What did that look like? Yeah, like that's all the way in the evening. I mean, these things are never right, right? The only profession in the world you can be wrong half the time and still keep your job. But yeah, it's certainly going to get there. Don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow. That being said, you had enough time to check that. Spot rates. Okay, we'll cover this real quick. So van is up 1 penny from last month. Flatbed is the same as last month, and reefer is up 5 pennies, 5 cents, a nickel from last month. Expect these to continue to rise. Go Trump. And then the price of fuel, expect that to drop. That's going to take a little bit longer. That's going to be, but you'll see better rates come next year. It's on average $3.54 per gallon across the nation. All right, this is the heat map. We look at this to see where the actual freight is located. The issue with the West is that there's just literally so much freight over there that it's like all red. Fascinating. Well, I'm gonna start up in the Northwest, like I always do. Uh, there's a ton of extra freight in Washington, but all you see is the hot market of Seattle. The rest is literally below average. What does that tell us? That tells us that all of the extra freight is in Seattle. Like, I don't know what more proof you need if if you don't believe that you have negotiating power right now. I don't know what to tell you. There is absolutely negotiating power up there in Washington. You got it up there in Seattle, in Portland, or in Oregon, excuse me. It's showing a large portion of Oregon has extra freight, but we all know that the majority of the freight is in the Portland market. And then you can find freight south of Portland. What is that? Eugene down there. There's some down there, but the majority of it's up there in Portland. So don't be fooled by this. What that means, though, because Oregon had such high numbers, some of that freight is spread out in this in this other area. So that tells me that the Seattle market is stronger than the Portland market. Now, real quick, somebody asked me if it was still beneficial to go to Portland because of the fuel and the tax and everything, right? And my response, because I mean I can only do so much in comments on YouTube, right? Is was essentially, I'll give you this summarization. You got to know your numbers. Like you have to know your numbers. Like I can't answer that for you, you know? Um why I do this to help you understand where the freight's located and what markets are hot. That's it. That's all that I can do. Everybody's numbers are different. Everybody runs differently. Some people run 450 miles a day. Some people run 650 miles a day, if the traffic allows. This is such an individualized business that I can't answer those questions for you. All I can do is point you in the right direction and hope that you make good decisions. And I try to help the best that I can, but I can't answer questions like that for you. That being said, you got to know your numbers. uh, One of the absolute best ways I feel like you can know your numbers is by using Trucker Calculator. Am I sponsored by them? Yes. Would I still talk about them If I wasn't, yes, absolutely. Because you need an easy way to digest all of those numbers. You need to be able to make calculations on the fly. You need to be looking at those every single day. You need to be able to analyze those every single week, every single month. So, like, why on earth would you not? You know. But regardless, I wanted to talk about that real quick while I hit Oregon because, I can't answer that question for you. I'm not choosing your loads. I'm not doing the things, right? I hate it. It seems like a cop out, but it's not. The only thing that I can say is you got to know your numbers. So sorry if you're watching this, but there's the longer answer that I can't drop down in the comment section. All right, moving on. California, I mean, there's freight everywhere. But there's so much extra freight. Yes, it's going to be spread across the majority, like, or just the entirety of California. So, I mean, you've got negotiating power almost everywhere. Even Sacramento is above average, and that's crazy. But your two hot markets in California are always going to be San Francisco and LA. And most certainly the majority of that excess freight is going to be in LA. Um, what's nice is that looking over at Phoenix or Arizona, the only real hot market that you see over there is the Phoenix market. Tucson's above average, but it's only just slightly above average. So all of that excess freight's over there in Phoenix. So that's a good thing. You're not going to get, which means that you have even more negotiating power in, Southern California. So the excess freight in Nevada is in the northern half. However, even the southern half is a little bit above average. So there's plenty of freight for those boys. Once again, you're not going to see, freight get eaten up in Southern California. So all of that lines up to you've got serious negotiating power in California. You serious negotiating power. You should be getting all of the money in California. Looking over, I mean, there's not much else to talk about really in the rest of the United States. It's just kind of all rough. Um, the Great Lakes states are still in good shape, right? If you're up there, that's about the only spot where you're in okay shape. That's it. Outside of that, you just need to grab a load. Either maybe even park the truck for today, for the weekend. Or if you're up there, grab a load. That's about it. You really can't go wrong. I always ran the Northwest during the winter. That's just because that's where the freight's at, or there was where you get paid. Does it suck dealing with the weather? Yeah. Does it shut you down sometimes? Yeah. But like the really, you make so much extra money by running up there. You're doing things that people don't want to do, right? And it's hard. It's not easy. Trucking is not easy as it is. A lot of people think that it is, but it's really not. And then running up there is even harder. So if you go where it's harder or more difficult to do, another great example would be pulling oversize, especially all the specialized trailers. It's hard. Therefore, you get paid more money. Like, pretty simple stuff. But that's why I always ran up there, just because like the rest of the United States, sometimes it looks like this on days. Whereas up there in the Northwest, it never looks like this. Hardly ever. It's almost always good shape. You almost always can negotiate. And like a lot of times, the freight up there, like it just pays well. So I mean, like you don't even really have to justify negotiating. So I guess real quick, between the Houston and Dallas markets, I'll give the nod to Dallas because both those markets, beside the Dallas market, are hot, along with Houston. But Louisiana's in rough shape, and when it looks like that, I always give the nod to Dallas because it always pays a little more. I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to cover over there. I'm just it's bad. It's rough out there. I get it, but fear not because come next year, this is all going to pick up. All you got to do is survive one more season. You make it through one more season, and you're going to be okay. And if you've made it this far through the last 4 years, you're very likely going to be fine. Just hang on a little bit longer. Now, something that I would like, there were a few things that I talked about. I know there's not a ton of you that hang on this long, but at the same time, there were a few things that I've talked about in the video last night And rather than telling you to go watch it, I'm just going to kind of hit you with the highlights because there's a couple things that I really want you guys to think about. I've already alluded to economy will come back, but it'll be slow, right? Excuse me. I talked about tariffs in that video. Not going to talk about that here. If you want an elementary understanding of tariffs, go watch that video. They're not bad. I'm going to tell you that. Uh, Two things though that I want you guys to think about. Number one, there's very likely to be a health shift focus, and that's because of RFK, right? That's his whole mission now is to take down the gosh, sorry. My throat. I hope that's not too loud in the mic. I apologize. Anyway, his whole mission is to take down the FDA, right? And that's because our food is crap. I mean, they're we don't need to go into all the negatives. There's too many to list. But because he's so health focused, I feel like there's going to be a health shift, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So don't be upset or concerned. However, one of the things I want to say is like if you're one of the people that have an issue getting your medical card, like if it worries you or you don't get the full 2 years, you get the 1 year. I don't know if they still hand out the 6 month anymore. But anyway, if you're short, like you may want to consider, really trying to focus on your health and getting that in order. Is this a guarantee? I don't know. I mean, this is obviously speculation and I have no idea what's going on. But considering that there's going to be a health shift, there's going to be we're going to be more focused on that. It just very much would not surprise me if they raise the restrictions on getting your health card. So that's just something to keep in mind. One of the other things that you may want to keep in mind, this one's a little bit longer, but I'll try to sum it up as quick as I can. If you were thinking about buying a truck or a trailer, now's the time to do so. Okay. When the economy is in the toilet, right? That's when rich people, wealthy people, that's when they buy things, right? But they buy cash. Now us normal mere mortals, we can't, buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment with cash. So you have to pick your poison, right? You have to either decide, do you want to, buy what it is that you're looking at a lower cost but a higher interest rate, or do you want to wait when the economy is doing great and pay all the money for what it is that you want to buy but get that lower interest rate? People that look at, oh, well, I'm going to wait because I want a lower interest rate, like that never made sense to me because it's just clearly they don't understand economics. You can always refinance, but you can't go back and purchase that product for a cheaper price. So the intent, or if you were thinking about buying a truck or trailer, now's the time to start looking, and now's the time to do it. As people get more money, as people make more money, as people are able to keep more money, as businesses do the same, they spend more money, obviously. And you saw it happens all the time. When people are able to spend money, the price of things just goes up because the demand goes up, therefore the supply goes down. And when the economy is doing well, things like, cars and trucks and these larger purchases, they're worth more money. And then the interest rate comes down because that's the only thing that they have to entice you to buy things. So now's the perfect time to go out and buy a truck or buy a trailer. And I would never have said this before unless I knew that Trump was going to be in office. Because another 4 years under that train wreck of an administration, and I don't know what the economy would look like. That being said, I know not everybody can just run out and buy a truck or trailer. I know that that's not something we can do. And coming through the economy that we've been in, that may not be, reasonable to do right now. However, I'm just saying, if you were thinking about doing it, you may want to, start looking at it and make that consideration to do so. And then in 1-2 years, you can always refinance, get the interest rate down, and then you're in great shape on both. You've bought it for cheap and you've got a lower interest rate. So that's my input for the economy and kind of what's going on. I just want to make sure you guys that stick around for the channel and you actually kind of listen to me. Um, that you got that advice if you didn't watch that other video. Yeah. So let's see here. Joseph says, "What's up? I'm here for the market update every day and to answer one of your questions in a former video. I almost exclusively consume content on YouTube." Cool. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, man, it is eventually going to come out on Spotify. I know I've talked about it. I've talked about it. I keep finding reasons to put it off. It is literally not even that difficult. I just literally upload it to Spotify. I just haven't done it yet. Yes, you can still get a 6 month. You can get a 3 month. Wow, I didn't realize they had done it, gone that far down as far as health cards go. I thought 6 month was the lowest that you could get. I don't know if that's going to change the health card thing. Um, it's just it makes sense, right? If he's going to be so health focused, um, or health oriented, I guess I should say. I mean, his sites are on like FDA and the companies that lobby and big pharma and even big tech. I'm not sure if big tech has anything to do with the health, but his sites are aimed that direction. So, it may not, nothing may change. I'm just saying it's always better to be prepared and look at all outcomes so that way you're not blindsided whenever something shows up. And it's certainly a possibility. So, alrighty. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Leave a comment, guys. I need some help getting the algorithms in check. It's yeah. So if you could, I just appreciate it. If not, that's okay. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. You guys stay safe. Keep that shiny side up. Stay driven. I'll see y'all Monday.